Hi guys. So now we are in the transit of the 16th gene key, and this is a gene key that goes from the shadow of indifference to the gift of versatility and the city of mastery. And I like to look at this gene key from the Codon Ring perspective. So it's in the Codon Ring of Prosperity, and in this Codon Ring we also have the 45th gene key, which is shadow of dominance. So we can see on a collective level that these two gene keys kind of keep humanity in a pattern where we don't care about each other. And the 16th gene key is in the collective circuitry in human design. So it is here to care about the collective. But in the shadow frequency, it doesn't. It cares more about itself, but many times also on an individual level, there is a kind of inertia. And inertia is the 9th gene key and it's the programming partner. So it's the lack of determination to do something about with our skills and with our enthusiasm. So the 16th gene key in the shadow has a lot of excuses. It's like, I don't have time, whether it's I don't have time to follow my own dreams, or I don't really have time to help or to care or to stop. I remember once being robbed in Paris, and it wasn't late. It was like 8:30 p.m. and there were 3 people just running after me and grabbing me and down on the floor and like ripping the purse of my hand. And I remember laying there and they were like kneeing me in the back, and I lay there on the ground, and people were walking by, but nobody was doing anything. And then I kind of got up, and I didn't have a phone, I didn't have anything, and I walked around in Paris for I don't even really know how long, until I found the police station. And I went in there, and the first thing they said is like, why didn't you call number 17? That's the like 911, or I don't know, that's the police number in France. And I remember, it was like no human care anywhere. And I also remember sitting at the police station like until 3 a.m, identifying, in a kind of an album with photos, people to say like, was it this person? But everything was like really just cold and not so much, no care. And understanding that, of course, also when you have maybe those kinds of professions, as a police or even maybe a nurse, there's a kind of self-protection where you set up this mask, a little bit of indifference. And at the same time, the people that walked by without doing anything, that was probably out of fear or out of not having time, or like some kind of excuse in order to see like a 19-year-old on the ground, even when the guys had run away, So it is something that I feel like is keeping humanity in a loop. Which also brings us to the gift frequency, because we can see that, when we use our skills and work together, so that's the 16th, the skill, and then the synergy of working together is the 45. That's why we call this the ring of prosperity, because that is what happens when we come together, and then we use our skills, and it's even, beyond that. That's what becomes mastery and communion in the highest frequency. So, and on an individual level, when we come up to the gift frequency, we can see again the pairing of the 16th and the 9. So then we have the versatility of the 16 and the determination of the 9. So then basically, you are kind of invincible when you tap into those frequencies. And the 16th is like, it's somebody that kind of goes for it without thinking too much, and can kind of tend to like look superficial, but since there is an inherent talent in it, it usually gets away with it, because after repeating a couple of times, the 16th really kind of gets it, and then that's why this versatility really ties into talent, and it is in the channel of talent together with the 48th gene key. I've also kind of felt in myself, so I have the 16th, but I don't have the 48th. So sometimes I'm looking for the 48, which is depth. So we can say that the 16 is versatile, very broad, and then the 48 is very deep. So sometimes when we are the 16, we are here to be very broad and just kind of go for it, you know, and have that determination. And sometimes there is this hesitation, and often for me it has not so much been that I'm trying to be the 48, like trying to learn so much, but that I kind of sometimes get stuck in thinking that I need somebody, I need a solution, I need some more depth to solve a problem, and kind of always coming back to ourselves, that the answers are not out there, and the answers are not in learning more. The answers are going within. So I feel like that is something that we can see in this gene key as well. And I have it in the sphere of relating, and this is a new sphere that we are going to add to the pearl sequence in what we're going to call the star pearl, or what is called the star pearl, and what is going to be launched later this year. So it's kind of fun for me to be able to speak a bit about it. We did some work around it on the ambassador retreat. So, you can, when you hear me, when you see me, you can see that I'm somebody very versatile in the way I communicate, and in the way I think, and also in the way I kind of get on those videos and I just talk. And sometimes it might feel a bit scattered. I had some comments like that. And sometimes it just feels really natural, because there is this weaving between the gene keys, between human design, the I Ching, my own experiences, yoga, tantra, it's all that. And for me, that's my kind of versatility. That is what I weave together, and that is what makes sense to me. And I do have a versatile mind. It's the planet of Mercury. If you have your human design body graph or chart, you can look into it there, what it is for you. And I can say a little bit more even. So I am a line 2, so 16.2, and that in that line in the star pearl is called feedback. So I'm somebody who is good at like giving that kind of direct feedback in my communication. So I'm looking forward to have the star pearl, and for all of us to be able to tap in our genius of how we relate and communicate with each other. And yeah, I think I'm gonna do a bit of a shorter video here, so that I don't get too broad, and just leave it like this. Thank you, guys.